भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवी सरस्वती व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीमुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठकी। Vendraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. So we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, 27th chapter, titled as Understanding the Material Nature. Kapiladev and Devahuti. Kapiladev is talking to his mother, Devahuti, about the relationship of soul and the material body. Every soul has got material body. And over the period of time, as soul gets this material body, soul becomes attached to this body. And then, even though the soul is passive, whatever the activities are done by the body, the mind, the intelligence, the soul has to be has to bear the results of those karmas. So whatever the karmas we perform with this body, we get another body, and then soul has to go from one body to another. So in this way, we can see that even though soul is not performing any activity, soul is entangled in the results of the activities. And that is why the soul has to take birth again and again. Punarapi Janma, Punarapi Marana. But Kapil Dev instructs to Mata Devuti that if one surrenders to Krishna and listens to Krishna Katha and engages oneself in Krishna consciousness, one can liberate it from this repeated bondage, repeated cycle of birth and death. Then Devuti, Mata asked the question that you are mentioning that with Krishna Katha, soul can be liberated from this repeated cycle of birth and death. But then soul and body are intimately related. Just like a taste of the water and water are intimately related, and you cannot separate taste of water from the water, or you cannot separate the fragrance from the flower. You cannot separate the body from the soul, because the soul without the body is of no use, and a body without soul cannot do anything. So soul and body are also intimately related. So Mata Dehuti is asking the question to Kapila Dev that how can you separate a soul from the body? Further, Mata Dehuti is saying that even though the soul is passive performer of all activities, how can there be freedom for the soul as long as the material nature acts upon the soul? So here Mata Dehuti is asking the question that how can you separate soul from the body? Further, Mata Dehuti is asking to Kapila Dev, Kachit Tattva Nivrutam Bhayamulbanam Anivrutta Nimittatvat Punah Pratyavatisthate. Even if the great fear of bondage is avoided by mental speculation and inquiry into the fundamental principles, it may still appear again, since the cause has not ceased. So here Mata Devuti is having another doubt that even though some people they have a lot of knowledge about the mental, they have a lot of mental speculation and they have so-called theoretical knowledge also about the body and the soul, and but then that knowledge, how can that knowledge free one from the repeated birth and death if one keep on performing the same activities which are cause of bondage? So you might have a lot of knowledge, but knowledge without application is of no use. So how can you separate the soul from the cause of bondage? So in purport, Prabhupada is elaborately explaining about the doubt of Mata Devahuti and the cause of the bondage of repeated birth and death. Why do we take birth again and again? So here, Srila Prabhupada is explaining material bondage is caused by putting oneself under the control of matter because of the false ego of lording it over the material nature. So everybody has the ego, and because of the ego, one thinks that he is the master, he or she is the master of everything and wants to enjoy, and that ego results into bondage. Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, 27th sloka states that Ichha Dvesha Samuthena. So here Bhagavad Gita mentions that there are two primary reasons for the bondage. Bondage means taking birth again and again. And what are those? Ichha and Dvesha. So one is Ichha, which means the desire to enjoy, to be the boss, to be the master, to be the Lord. And sometimes one wants to be as great as Krishna, actually. Everyone has desire to be the greatest in this world. Everybody wants to prove I am greater than anybody else. So that is cause of bondage. And Dvesha means enviness. When one becomes envious of Lord Shri Krishna or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then one thinks that why should we worship Krishna? Why Krishna should be all in all? I am as good as Krishna. So they start thinking that they are God. And this is called as Dvesha, enviness to Lord Krishna. As long as a philosopher, a salvationist, or wideist has some desire to be supreme, to be everything, or to deny the existence of Lord, the cause remains and there is no question of liberation. So as long as you have a desire to become the master, to be the greatest of the great of all the time, and you have a desire that, oh, I want to be the enjoyer of everything, then there is no chance of liberation at all. Devhuti very intelligently says, one may theoretically analyze and say that knowledge he has become freed. By knowledge one can think that he has become freed. But as long as this Ichha and Dvesha exist, one cannot become free. And Bhagavad Gita confirms that after performing such speculative activities for many, many births, when one actually comes to his real consciousness and surrenders to Lord Krishna, then fulfillment of his research in knowledge is actually achieved. Bahunam janmanamante jnanava mam prapadyante vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. It takes many, many lifespan of these speculative activities, and then in one lifespan one understands that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is a gulf of difference between theoretical freedom and actual freedom from the material bondage. Bhagavatam 10th canto, 14th chapter, 4th sloka says that if one gives up auspicious path of devotional service and simply tries to know the things by speculation, one wastes his valuable time. Klishyanti ye kevala bodhanabhyaye. If you are speculating that God may be like this, God may be like that, and this is like that, speculation is of no use because everything is mentioned in Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Don't have to speculate anything. Just learn from the previous acharyas, like Srila Prabhupada, who has translated these books. Just try to learn from the Prabhupada books rather than speculating. The result of such labor of love is simply labor. If someone wastes all his time in speculating, oh, this might be like that, this might be like that, it's all wastage of time. The labor of speculation is ended only by exhaustion. One gets tired of this speculations. The example is given here that there is no benefit in husking the skin of an empty paddy field. The rice is already gone. Uh, Somebody has already harvested all the rice. Now, if you go there and try to do anything else, like harvesting, nothing will come out because rice is already gone. Similarly, by simply speculative process, one cannot be free from material bondage. For the cause of bondage is Ichcha and Dvesha. As long as you have desire to enjoy and you are envious of Krishna and you want to be the God, there is no chance of liberation. One has to nullify the cause, which is use all the desire to serve Krishna and never be envious of anybody. Then effect will be nullified. This is explained by the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the following verses. So here we can see that Mata Devahuti is pointing out the cause of material bondage for a soul to get repeated birth and death. And why do we get repeated birth and death? Only reason is Ichcha to enjoy or to be the greatest of the great, greater than God actually, is our ultimate Ichcha. And Dvesha, Dvesha means not to accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead and think that I am the Supreme, I am the boss, I am the Lord of everything. If one really wants to get out of this, one needs to surrender to Krishna. Sarva dharman parityajya mama ekam sharanam braja. We have to surrender to Krishna. Then Krishna will take care of us. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshasami mahasacha. So Mata Devati is saying that devotional service is much better than speculation, mental speculation. So if you really want to get liberated, then surrender to Krishna and perform devotional service. Hare Nam Eva Kevalam. So with that, we will pause here and we'll continue our Srimad Bhagavatam study for tomorrow. Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srimad Prabhupada ki.